Hello, everybody. It is your friendly neighborhood INFP, and if you like these videos, do be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It would help me out tremendously, and you may even see me freak out once we get to a certain threshold. I mean, I freak out as much as I can. But anyways, on to the topic of hand. On to the topic at hand, the ENTJ. One of my favorite MBTI types out there. Maybe I'm putting them on a bit of a pedestal, but I'm going to try and remain as unbiased as I can in this video. Now, ENTJs, for most people, they typically see them as bossy, no BS, go-getter type people who don't really care about those around them. Which some parts of that is true, some parts of that isn't, and it really honestly depends on who is around them, which also then depends on whether or not they care about them. Like, if they're close to the family, yeah, they're going to care tremendously about them. Close friends care tremendously about them. ENTJs have perhaps in some regards gotten a bad rep. Maybe due to stereotypes, maybe due to bad behavior on the ones who are a little more unhealthy. This behavior being the one that kind of like demeans, puts down, ignores, isn't that friendly, isn't afraid to be cutthroat. And while there is some truth into that, it doesn't look into the other aspect of the ENTJ, which is the one who is extraordinarily helpful, motivating, uplifting, and really good at what they do, to be perfectly frank. They are some of the best motivators you will ever come across. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, but what about the ENFJ? What about this ESTP? What about these other types? And sure, they can be motivating as well, and they often are, but ENTJs have this motivating nature that cuts through all the BS, that cuts through a lot of the issue. It's not like they're being mean about it either. They find the quickest route to success and try and help you achieve it. And they're not going to stand around and like listen to you like mope and do some stuff. And even if you do, they may just like move on. They have this method of, because of their first two functions, they are very goal orientated. Yes, I was saying that correctly. Whoosh! Very goal orientated people who know exactly what they want, how to get it, where to get it, and typically aren't afraid of failure, despite what some people may believe. ENTJs typically will learn from their mistakes and they'll do better, and because they are very adept at problem solving, they will honestly have this process of, okay, I failed here, this is how to fix it, okay, I'm going to fix it, and they move on. And unlike the INTJ, where they may be planning a little bit more and have some other stuff going on for them, the ENTJ is also in the same aspect as the INTJ, is that they are long term, but they're also very short term. So they have plans for the short term and they have plans for the long term. Now, every type typically has this. Some are better utilizing this as others. INTJs and ENTJs are generally seen as some of the top when it comes to this. The difference, I believe, with the ENTJ is that they're a lot quicker to act than an INTJ is. And not only are they quicker to act, they have these things where because they are quicker to act, this is what brings them into their motivations with the people who they have around them, where, if it is somebody they care about, somebody they like, and that somebody is trying to become better at something, or say they're dating someone who they love, or say they're married to somebody who they love, they will typically, if they're in a healthy place, try and help forge that person into a better version of themselves. They will get to work on it because, okay, so they'll get to work on that person, not because of like purely altruistic reasons perhaps, but it may benefit them in the long term as well. An ENTJ, when they're able to forge somebody else, and what a lot of people don't realize is that the ENTJ is looking for a partner. They're not looking for somebody who is below them. They may be looking to achieve what somebody who is above them, or like go even greater lengths than the person who is above them. But when it comes to people who they surround themselves with, or who they want to do something with, they want to, if that person doesn't reach those qualities, if the ENTJ is healthy, they will want to forge that person into a position where the ENTJ can see them as a partner. Now, sometimes, say, when it comes to perhaps working out, the ENTJ will very much be in your face and get you to work out, and will motivate you to work out and make you believe in yourself. And then all of a sudden you've lost the pounds you need to lose, and you're like, holy crap, how did this happen? And then the ENTJ is just like, my work here is done. So they are very good at that. They are very good people. I was about to say people, but that's the wrong term. They are very good. What's the word I'm looking for? People, person, people? No. There's a phrase here that I'm forgetting. Anyways, they're good at knowing other people if they choose to pay attention, knowing their strengths, knowing their weaknesses. And this is why they are able to help motivate people to do certain things. Now, can they be callous? Yes. Oftentimes, ENTJs are accused of being callous. Can they be too blunt? Yes. Oftentimes, ENTJs are accused of being this way. Can they be a multitude of things that people blame them for? Yes. Are they always? No. Are the healthy ones? Typically, no. They are... Unless you have done something that has irked an ENTJ, or if you are giving them a bunch of BS excuses, which, if I know anything about ENTJs, they cannot stand BS excuses. Like, if it's a valid excuse, they'll let it go. But if it's a BS excuse of, oh no, I hurt my little finger, they're going to be like, oh, suck it up, buttercup. And if you give too many of those... the ENTJ will drop you like you're hot. So they don't stand for people who aren't willing to put in the effort, people who aren't willing to put in the work, people who aren't willing to better themselves. ENTJs are all about bettering themselves as much as they are about helping other people better themselves, once again, due to wanting a partner and due to wanting to achieve certain goals, whatever goals those may be. Remember, MBTI doesn't mean that you have to fall into a certain category of certain jobs. It's just certain stereotypes have been placed on you that have brought certain people into those jobs. Like, you can be in any job, however, depending on your type, this is just a quick little thing here, depending on your type, depends on where in that job you're going to be. So you can be an artistic ENTJ, for example, but your standards and the things that you're looking for may be a bit higher than, say, somebody else that you're working with. Or you may oversee and own the art studio while also practicing art. There's always something else with the ENTJ. They don't just stop with, okay, I make art. It's like, well, what if I have an art studio? I'd really like to have an art studio, and then they go and do it. If their ENTJs are going to go onto YouTube, they don't care if they have a certain amount of followers at the beginning. They go and do it, and they find out how to increase their presence, which then brings in a bunch of views and followers and so on and so forth. They are very... known in that sense. They're very no nonsense, but they also know how to have fun. So a lot of people think that ENTJs don't know how to have fun, which is untrue. ENTJs know how to have a lot of fun, maybe sometimes too much fun, but they are what I would consider to be work hard, play harder types, or work first, then play. For them, they're focusing on their goals first, focusing on helping those who are the closest to them. They won't just help anybody. This is, of course, remember, I'm talking in a healthy general manner. This is how they'll be. And, of course, if they are extraordinarily healthy or in like are willing to bring themselves to that point, they are able to talk about their emotions, which it can be extremely hard for them, to somebody who, say, is a feeler or a psychiatrist or this, that, or the other. They can bring themselves to actually bring out their emotions. Now, does this mean that ENTJs don't desire success? No, they do desire success. They are success-driven people, but what that success looks like to each ENTJ can be vastly different. Some may want a big house, some may not want a big house. Some may want a flashy car, some don't care about having a flashy car. It all depends on what they perceive and how they view success. Like, they could have a bunch of money and be doing something with that elsewhere while you thinking they don't have a lot of money. They can be those types of people. Oftentimes, they may want to flaunt it. Yes, I will give you that. But it's not in a... Sometimes, well, allow me to correct myself. Sometimes it's in a better than you attitude. Sometimes it's, I want to help you achieve this type of attitude. So they can be very good in sales, they can be very good in management, they can be very good in owning things. They have a set thing that they set out as they go, and they go and achieve it. But they also know how to have a good time. They are the people who will be making sure that if, once again, they aren't the horrible version of people who don't have fun and look down on everyone. I'm not talking about that ENTJ, because that kind of person exists throughout all of the MBTI spectrum in some way, shape, or form. I'm talking about the one who is, shall I say, more towards a healthier lifestyle. Now, I don't believe that any MBTI type can be 100% healthy, but the ones that lean more towards this can make sure that you're taking proper rest, can make sure that you are doing the proper things that you need to be doing, and if you're having difficulty and if you're failing, the ENTJ will help you problem solve that issue that you're having. They want to succeed, especially if they're working together with you. They want to succeed as much as you do. And if you don't want to succeed, it may bring about a bit of annoyance to the ENTJ. They want to succeed, and they want to see you succeed. So if you happen to fail and you're struggling with something, an ENTJ may be one of the very first people who comes up to you and tries to help you figure out how to solve the problem. And sometimes they will find the fastest and quickest route to solving that problem. Does this always happen? No, but once again, I'm going off of an ideal here. So yeah, ENTJs are drawn into many different fields. And if you happen to meet a healthier one, they will help lift you up. The problem is that a lot of stereotypes on the ENTJ have been, like most other types, given to them a little bit unfairly. But once again, one will say stereotypes exist for a reason. And so it's kind of like a heart-shaped battle. In any way, shape, or form, that has been my video on ENTJs. I could go on. I'll probably go on like a more detailed tirade at some point in time. Maybe next year, maybe this year. Who knows? When I go into like the detailed types. At that time, I really hope to have somebody else who's in MBTI be with me for that, because it'd be an interesting discussion. But with that being said, that has been my video on the ENTJ, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.